Now, here's a short story which, in my opinion, it's always best to end a relationship with your wife, your girlfriend, fiance, whatever, if you find out they're cheating. It is not the best idea, as much as it's tempting to do, to stick around and get revenge because it's just not going to work out long term. Better to let success be the best revenge by you breaking up and moving on. And in this situation, this husband and father finds out that his wife is cheating on him. And instead of just divorcing her, which he should have, he decides to stay in the marriage under one condition: that they have an open marriage. And he can go do wherever he wants, but crazy enough, she can do what she wants. How crazy is that? And stupid. And so guess what happens? That's what he does. And instead of hooking up with chicks left and right, he just gets together with one woman. And he has a meaningful thing, which he wanted originally. But she goes around, and she's getting piped down by Chad and Tyrone, and she eventually gets sick and tired of being treated like a piece of meat and wants him back. But you know what? He doesn't want to end it. And it's just a big mess. And in my opinion, in some capacity, she was definitely wrong, but he wasn't so right either. Because now they have this open relationship thing, marriage, and it's a mess. Not to mention probably the kids have figured something out that's going on here. Titled, Am I the a-hole for not wanting to close the relationship after my wife cheated on me 5 years ago? 5 years he's been doing this. And a shout out to Derek for sending this story. It says, my wife and I have been married for almost 10 years now, and we have 2 kids. 5 years ago, I found out that she'd been having an affair with her coworker, which lasted about a month. The hurt I felt I wouldn't even wish on my worst enemy. My wife came clean, quit her job, and she was genuinely remorseful, and she even started online therapy. Well, that's great and all, but get the F out. It's over. After taking almost a month to think about it, I decided to stick with my family under one condition. I wanted an open relationship. Dude, 2 wrongs don't make a right. I get he wants revenge. I get he wants to get even. Who can blame him? But she deserves it. This isn't the way. My wife was very hesitant about it, but she ultimately agreed after I told her I would leave her if she didn't. Laid down the ground rules on not bringing anyone home and to always get tested. Well, what he should have done is, no, I'm going to have the open marriage, and you're going to stay home, if he was going to do that. I mean, she gets a great deal. After my wife agreed, I called my childhood best friend Leia and told her my wife cheating on me. Leia and I are best friends for life, and we went through some of the shared trauma when we were children, but then we felt that bonded us for life. Leia and I did date for a bit in college, but we broke up shortly after as we felt our friendship was too valuable and that there was a risk of a romantic relationship going south and ending our friendship. Well, there you go. Enter Leia. And he's definitely entering Leia. After I called Leia, she started calling and FaceTiming me more in the coming weeks and months, and we all started hanging out more and more, going to lunches and dinners. Leia was single, and I did not try anything outwards, and we did become intimately closer till one night Leia invited me to her room, and we had you-know-what. Okay, that's great and all, but still, just end your marriage, dude. Don't waste anybody's time. Leia knew about the open relationship agreement I had with my wife, so we felt no guilt having you-know-what. Well, I find it interesting. Leia's been his friend forever and obviously has feelings for him that she's okay with this. For the past 5 years or so, Leia and I have been having this type of relationship where we go to dinners and dates, and if there's a really romantic mood, we hook up. I was transparent with my wife and told her Leia was the only one I'm seeing. My wife, too, was transparent with me, and she said she had slept with a couple of men, and she showed me their pictures on the dating app, and they were insanely attractive, tall, and muscular, which did not surprise me, because my wife is also very attractive, and she probably had matches with thousands of attractive men. This is the stupidest thing. 2 wrongs don't make a right. He should have divorced her, then he can go out with Leia. You know, remember, they have kids. So when they're out on date nights and everything like that, you know, the kids don't have the mom around, which is maybe not a bad idea, and him around. This is just ridiculous. However, my wife said the sex felt empty, and she did not feel anything but remorse after sex, because they were nothing but hookups. This guy has something meaningful, even, you know, and he should end it with a wife and be with Leia. Last night, my wife and I had a serious discussion, and my wife broke down in tears and said she no longer wanted an open relationship and wanted to close the relationship. She said she loved me and only me, and she would never love anyone more than me for as long as she was alive. However, I'm conflicted. I do love my wife, but if my wife really loves me, like she says, she would have cheated on me 5 years ago. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to close the relationship? Well, number one, I don't believe you love your wife. Get the fuck out of here. Because if you did, come on here. you want to be okay with other dudes piping her down and all that. And unless you're into polygamy or something like this, is not going to work. Okay, no. Are you the a-hole? I don't. You're. I would say the bonehead for continuing. I don't blame you, this guy, for wanting some payback, some revenge. She deserves some of that, given what she did. But this has gone on too long. They should have ended with her, moved on, because again, you can't tell me the kids aren't noticing some weird things going on here. And kids talk, and other people talk, and all that, But this is just a bad situation. So in this situation, it's rare that I say this, but I think this guy, I wouldn't say he's the a-hole, but I would say he's a bonehead. It's not going to work anymore. Just end it both ways. And I want to hear he's in love with her. He's not. And once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't trust her. So I think absolutely just put this thing away and move on. Now, the whole comment section is full of people thinking the same thing. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking this, so I'm going to read that. One guy says here, yeah, at this point, it's been an open marriage for 5 years, and he's developed a second long-term partner, and she's had casual partners. Closing either relationship would mean ending the other. Understandably, at this point, most people don't want to do that unless there's a serious problem currently in the relationship. There is a serious problem in this relationship. The only problem right now is that the one partner doesn't want them to have other partners anymore. He doesn't want to break up with Leia. His wife wants them to be monogamous again. Neither is wrong, but they can't both be done. Just face the incompatibility and divorce. Thank you. Another guy says, Esh, your wife sucks for cheating. You suck for having revenge SCX for 5 years and using your old friend for that purpose. I think his friend Leia is a grown-ass adult, knows what she's doing. But it didn't help you that you got over your wife's infidelity. But it didn't help you get over your wife's infidelity, did it? That's not prescription for saving a marriage. Just divorce already, your marriage is dead. Thank you. Another one says, I think people who suggest open relationship already had someone in mind. In this case, the cheating became like a gift to you, to give you as an excuse you wanted to do all along. Who knows if she ever stopped? I'm sure once you suggested open relationship, she didn't. Maybe she just didn't share with you. But from your end, it's basically like rubbing it in her face for the rest of your marriage. I'm not saying you had to forgive her, but if not, people should just break up. Why stick around to emotionally abuse each other? And blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And last one says, she had no problem torturing him. This is 100% on her. She could have divorced him too. Did you miss the part where she screwed multiple guys during the 5 years? Right. That's the thing. I think if he was going to really teach her something, she wouldn't be, it'd be just him having fun with Leia, and that's it. Not her out with Chad and Tyrone. She made the decision at every step. She decided to cheat. She decided to take the open marriage. She decided to continue screwing other guys. He did what he could to find some sort of happiness. Now she wants to take that away from him too. I agree they should divorce her ass immediately. He should have done so 5 years ago. Why give a rat a second chance to bite you? I hope he divorces her and marries Leia. Sounds like she was the real one. Well, who knows? It's still a little strange that Leia's going along with this after 5 years, unless Leia really doesn't want to, get too close. Who knows? The whole thing's messed up. I just see the whole open marriage, open relationship thing, for whatever the reason, is just a big disaster. Unless both parties start a relationship like that, because there are people who have different type of relationships, but they both go into them, whether people are swingers and stuff like that. Okay, if they both start the relationship that way, but if it starts after, that's a bad idea, and I certainly think it's a terrible idea when you have kids in the mix. I mean, come on here. So anyhow, usually it's a situation where I applaud the guy for getting some payback and all, but this time I say, yeah, the wife's an a-hole, but he is a bonehead for doing this whole thing. So just, there's cheating going on, end it, move on. Truly, him moving on and ending with her and starting something else and being happy, that, believe me, that is enough payback and revenge many times over.